Alright boys, welcome back to Satisfactory. Before I get into today's video, I just want to say every single machine here at the fuel power plant is now fully working completely, no issues for the most part. Oh, it's always for the most part. It's always for the fucking most part. So as of this current moment, one person commented, and I do appreciate the comment, and that would have been my next step to try what you recommended. But I had a slight feeling I was the reason this whole setup was not working. So for some reason, for some odd reason, I decided when I built these and I brought these pipes up, initially, for some reason, I made them out of the clean pipeline Mark 1s instead of the pipeline Mark 2s. So when I wanted to get this setup up and going, I had to go through and replace all of these pipes with pipeline Mark 2s. Well, these little supports here screwed up the entire setup. So here I have a little demonstration to show what exactly happened. So here's the clean pipes, and then if you put the pipeline pump over the pipeline support and then change these to pipeline Mark 2s, it doesn't change the pipe underneath the support. So that is why they were only pumping 300 per minute. So I had to go through, delete all the pipeline Mark 1s and replace it with Mark 2s, which wasn't too bad. It honestly wasn't too bad. And I thought that was it. I thought I would have been clear. And I was. Down here at least. All the machines were working and pumping the fuel that it needed to pump because the oil was getting properly pushed to the refineries finally. But then if you've seen the last video, there was a point up there where it just simply wasn't pushing the fuel through, and all I had to do was delete the pipes and replace it, and it worked, which isn't my fault. That's nothing I can do. That's on the game side. Maybe it's because of the mods, I'm not too sure, but that's on the game side. So I had to go through and find some other pipes that were doing the exact same thing and delete them and replace them to allow this fuel to actually get pushed. Then it still wasn't working properly because even though when you place these on the pipes, they have little notches that the pump can go to, basically as like a, hey, this is the max head lift, if you go higher than this you're screwed. Well, I used those notches and I still got screwed because there's still pumps that were over max head lift, which I still have a couple pumps up there. I think there's like 3 or 4 of them, like almost right at the very top, that are just over max head lift. But for the most part, this entire setup is still working. And now we're averaging about high 38,000 to low 40,000 megawatts, which I am much more happy with. That's an extra 10 to 12,000 megawatts on the system, which is huge. And typically, I wouldn't really be worried about this at all. I would just be like, yeah, whatever, I'm producing a lot more fuel and move on. But I want to use this polymer resin. To be exact, I want to use 2,030 of the 2,100 polymer resin that I'm making. So basically, I need all of these machines to have peak efficiency if I want to be able to use every bit of it like I'm planning on doing. Because all of this polymer resin is going to be stuffed onto a train and shipped to a different building that's going to make a bunch of rubber and plastic, which every bit of it is going to be used in the heavy modular frame factory, and the adaptive control unit factory, which I don't think I'm really going to build a whole new factory for adaptive control units. It's just a space elevator part. It'll probably be some smaller temporary setup. I don't know. That's a little bit down the road. But I am aiming for 20 heavy modular frames per minute, which honestly, it shouldn't be too bad at all. And I know this because I was watching a Satisfactory player called Kibitz. If you don't know who that is, I don't know how you're here and don't know who he is, but his simplest builds make anything that I am going to build probably look like child's play. But in this video I was watching, he mentioned an app on Steam called Satisfactory Modular, which is completely free. And this is what I was going to do, make an entire separate modular frame factory specifically for heavy modular frames, but I don't need to do that. After some thinking, I, the genius, have come to a simple conclusion, and that is that this is all that I need, which doesn't look like anything, and that's because it's pretty much not. So I'm already making the 180 steel beams per minute, so I don't know why I had a thing out for it, but I didn't need that. All I need to do is make 360 concrete a minute, which I'm going to do with the silica recipe, so that way I can use only one node of limestone. If I tried to use the wet concrete recipe like I wanted to, I would need 2 nodes of limestone, simply because my conveyors can't handle that much. So we're going to do the fine concrete recipe, and then I'm just going to use the polymer resin and water to make 400 rubber a minute, and then obviously I have the screws. And so now for the thing I've been avoiding, the modular frames. Since I don't need versatile frameworks, I can get rid of that modular frame line, and then I already have 45 modular frames per minute ready to go. And none of this is sharded. So all I'd have to do is shard the iron miners, the foundries, the constructors, and the assemblers, and just putting all of them at 200% would make me 90 modular frames per minute without doing any work. But what I was wanting to do is take a couple of these and put them at 250%, so that way I can extend this and add on a few more, also sharded, so that way I can not only produce my 100 modular frames per minute, but also a little bit extra, so I can still have a storage for myself. And since I'm already making a ton of reinforced iron plates, 90 of them a minute, and only 30 a minute are being used, so all I'd have to do is take this and one of those and just take it right up there, or just add it right onto this line, and it's done. And the crazy thing about wanting to shard all of this is it would take 58 shards if I did my math right, and that's exactly how many I have. I picked up a slug on my way back, but yeah, I have exactly 58 shards, which is kind of crazy, but unfortunately, like I said, I need to make a few more, plus I want a little stockpile for myself, so I'm gonna need a couple slugs, which I got quite a bit of the slugs in this area. Luckily for me though, if we come over here to the power plant, you can already see them. They're everywhere. The slugs are, oh, Mercer Sphere, but the slugs are everywhere over here. Yeah, let's not and say we did. Let's, all right, buddy, calm down now. Just let me grab this in peace. We're chilling, we're friends, we're good. See, look at that. No harm, no foul. Okay, well that was like 3 slugs. So that should give me an extra 16 power shards, which should be more than enough to do this. So now I can just scoot on over there, shard everything, add a couple assemblers, and then the modular frames are done. But this is the limestone I was talking about. So I'm using both of these limestones for this factory here to make the steel beams, because I only had Mark III belts at the time, but now I have Mark IV and I can shard the miners and then just use Mark IV belts to upgrade the whole system, and then I'll have a free limestone node. The only thing is, I believe there was an entrance into the cave over there for the quartz, and I believe there was another quartz node, so I'll probably end up grabbing that and making the silica with it, so that way I don't have to go over there and make even more over there. Alright, so that didn't take very long at all. I got all the conveyors upgraded basically to Mark 4 or Mark 2, whatever. Upgraded to whatever they need to be. I didn't really think too much about what needed to be upgraded to what, except for like what was going into the foundry. There's no reason to use a Mark 4 conveyor for 96 iron a minute. But I upgraded the lifts and the miners for the iron. So now I am bringing in 960 iron per minute, using about 930 a minute. But then all those iron ingots, I believe it's like 1400 iron ingots, is being used to make 360 pipes a minute, which these conveyors are already upgraded. So now I just grab the reinforced iron plates, bring the reinforced iron plates through here, just drag it straight over and hook it up right into this merger. And then my idea for this might not exactly work. Okay, no, I don't know why that wouldn't work. Yeah, that works just fine. So then that's 45 extra reinforced iron plates a minute going onto this belt for a total of 75, which the storage containers filled with reinforced plates, I don't know what I'm going to do with them, if I'll sink them or just keep them there until I just use them. But then we can come up here, copy these settings, and just paste them on every single one. And then simply add 3 more of them for a total of 18 assemblers. Maybe give these guys some juice. And voila, just like that, 108 modular frames per minute, doing almost no work. Oh, I love power shards. And then I can take all of these, put them on one line, except for like my personal one. But the one line of 100 modular frames a minute will most likely get stuck in a train. And then I'd somehow maybe want to take the train from here to the encased beams, and then take that to wherever I decide to make this build. And now with the modular frames done, I'll worry about transporting them later. Let's get these encased beams made. Okay, so first things first, I need 360 concrete per minute. And to do that, I need to take these 2 lines and make it so that way I only need 1 line up here. Oh, I need more power shards. And now I am sitting at a cool 273 power shards. Probably won't last long, but I got enough for what I'm trying to do. Now I can come in here, shard this miner, upgrade all the belts. And then I can come up here and delete this stuff. So that way now I can place a conveyor lift like this. Pop a splitter on this bad boy. Put a splitter here and here. Reattach these conveyors. And then this whole setup is now working off of one node. And now I can just simply get rid of this limestone stuff and bring it over here instead of straight on into 4 assemblers like so, which will be doing fine concrete. And I need 360 concrete per minute. Obviously, doing 4 assemblers, making 50 a minute, that's only 200 a minute. So if we overclock it to 80 a minute, makes it nice and easy. 8, 16, 24, 32, 300, 20. I need 360. 9, 18, 27, 360 concrete. There we go. Now I just need to go grab some quartz from, I believe there's a cave like right there. Right in here. There should be some quartz for me to take, which I'll probably just turn it straight into silica in here. Oh, okay, so it does connect. Okay, because that's where I'm already taking quartz from. Okay, so what if I just shard this? Okay, so I basically got the roughly 120 silica to the base. What I'm going to be doing is running the silica underneath, so that way I don't have to cluster up this area any more than it already is. So they're going to come underneath, and then they're just going to split the silica between the 4 assemblers. Now all I got to do is take this and hook it right up to the silica, which should pretty much be here. Oh. Not if I didn't hook up the conveyors. Okay. Alright, now just like that, the silica is actually connected. I might as well grab the slug here. And now we should be making 360 concrete a minute, which then I can get rid of my versatile frameworks and then combine the 180 steel beams a minute with the 360 concrete per minute, and then we get 60 encased industrial beams per minute. Oh yeah, and I never sharded the limestone node over here. That's kind of important. Okay, now if I shard this, I will be making 360 concrete per minute. And the silica just arrived to the party. But now we can take this 360 concrete a minute, merge it all into one belt, which will be going into the exact same hole that I already had. Now our 360 concrete a minute is going up to where it needs to be, which was a lie because it needs to go up another floor. And then instead of having all the steel beams on separate lines, I'm just going to do a manifold connecting them all into that line, which is still going to go out of the wall and then back in over here. And that's where I'm going to do my 5 assemblers. And then with the concrete here, I'll probably run it through the other wall hole where the other steel beams were, and then it'll just make it nice and easy. Okay, and then nice and easy, bring the concrete over like this. And then what I did, so that way it didn't go so high it interfered with these, but it was low enough to walk under. Over here, I had to do a little mini lift thing. I'm sure the vast majority of people know how to do it, but if not, you put a stackable conveyor pole here, click like this, and then it automatically makes it mini to adjust to the size of the conveyor, the stackable conveyor pole. Not anything new, but yeah, just in case. And then we can take all the steel beams, hook them together, and then just upgrade the concrete line, and I should be good to go. All I gotta do now is figure out how I want to place the assemblers. Well, delete this first. That was 860 versatile frameworks, and then I already had 2400 in my inventory. So I'm sitting at about 3200 versatile frameworks, which is clearly more, way more than enough for the phase. But now I just need to get 5 assemblers in here. Like so, nice and easy. Almost like it was made for this. It was definitely not, but I'm gonna say it is. Shard it and then copy and paste, and now all I gotta do is hook up the conveyors. Alright, and then I just did the typical manifold for all of it, and then we just connect these to power, and bam, there's my 60 encased industrial beams a minute. And for now, I'm going to take all these encased beams and just sink them, which this is going to be probably the layout I use to stick them into the train or truck or whatever I decide to use. However I decide to get them over to wherever I'm building it, this is how I'm gonna have it, and just have it sticking out there for the one line. But for now, they can just get sunk because I'm not doing anything with them, and I already have an encased industrial beam storage over at the starter base. Which, thinking about it, I'm not using the modular frames for anything anymore at this moment, and I do got to get them all on one line anyways, so maybe I should do the same thing with the modular frames. Wait, what am I thinking? I was about to delete this modular frame line, but it's a Mark III line. It can handle well over 100 modular frames a minute. If I just take all the modular frames, put it on this line, then all I would have to do is have one train here, instead of trying to figure out how to bring a train from there to here. Because like I said, I want to use trains, and I was wanting to do that on this build. So yeah, why don't I just hook all the modular frames to this belt? So this belt's bringing in 100 modular frames a minute. I can delete this and just keep it here. And then whenever I decide to put the train station down, then I can figure out where I'm bringing the belt. And then that makes it so much more simple. I don't know why I didn't think of that before, but okay, yeah, I'm definitely doing that. Because all I got to do is put all the modular frames on that line and it's done. I don't even got to worry about transporting them. I cannot believe I was actually about to delete that and then use a train to move it to where it was already at. Just like that. And then since I don't need to be worrying about stockpiling on the modular frames here anymore because I got my own personal setup, which, as you can see, I put a dimensional depot uploader on it. So that way I don't have to constantly be going back and forth for modular frames. But now I just simply connect all of these to the same line, like so. And now I have all 100 modular frames a minute on the one belt being taken over to the encased industrial beams. And the encased industrial beams are done. So now all that's left to do is get 800 polymer resin and 800 water into 20 refineries to make 400 rubber per minute. Which, like I was saying, I kind of want to put these into an awesome sync so that way I'm just getting tickets since I am currently not using them for anything. And in doing so, this will get rid of all my storages of the modular frames because this is pulling 170 more per minute than I am making, which I'm not at all worried about. I wasn't too sure why I really even put the storage containers there. I know I wanted some buffers just to kind of get a stockpile, but there's not really any reason for it because it's either being sunk or used. Unless it's like personal storage, but I don't need thousands and thousands and thousands of modular frames for personal storage. I'll probably eat those words later on, but at least for now. But okay, now we can do the part that I've kind of been dreading, and that's head over to the power plant and start grabbing some of the polymer resin. And the only reason I've been dreading that is because everywhere else on the map is perfectly fine. At least for now. It's nice and smooth. It feels like the game I've been playing. But then when I head over to that monstrosity, my game gets so choppy. It makes me not even want to be over there. Alright, so it's been a minute since my last cut. Approximately 8,640 minutes. Yeah, so it's been like 6 days since I even touched my computer. Technically, probably closer to 5 days. I haven't had a whole lot of time after work, just like roughly an hour-ish or so, and I've kind of just been using that to eat and watch One Piece. I've been slacking, I know, but I'm back. And I've been doing a bit of thinking, and I got sort of a plan for what I want to do. So right over there is where all of the polymer resin is going to. And I was going to stick a train in there with all the extra open space and send it out to another building to get turned into rubber. But I think I'm going to make myself hate being over here even more. My plan is to kind of do like a little box underneath it with all the refineries and then just have the train ship out the rubber Instead of having to worry about shipping hundreds of polymer resin a minute, just do the hundreds of rubber per minute. But yeah, basically I'm just going to build another box underneath it and probably just build... I was thinking building a blueprint for chains. I really like the look of chains and I've used them before and I would like to do it again. And my plan is to just go do a blueprint of chains and then just hook some chains here and then do like a little box of the refineries. Kind of like this. Now, could this look better? Yeah, but I just did this quickly and with no tutorials or nothing. It kind of looks like this chain is a little bit longer than this one, but I think it looks good. It looks all right, especially from a distance. It'll look more than good enough. So this is what I'm going to go with. And I'm sure the vast majority of people already know how to make chains, but in case you don't, all I did was take a wall, a pipeline wall hole, connect it on both sides. I delete these walls and the wall holes, and then I just take another wall, nudge it till it's right into the center, and zoom that up as well. And you can nicely just nudge your wall hole into place. And then you connect those. Delete the wall holes, and you got yourself a chain. And then what I did is I just saved this as a blueprint and then just copy and pasted it till you get that. And you can just do whatever color you want. Copper might actually look good. But yeah, that's how you make chains. Like I said, there's probably other ways to do it, better ways to do it, ways to make it look better. But I like this. It's more than enough for me, so I will definitely take this. Okay, and I was trying to figure out how to make this chain match the aesthetic of the base. And I wasn't wanting to do too much to it, so... But what I was thinking is just taking the painted beam here and then adding these little half-meter square signs onto it. So it's not a super major detail, but with a little tiny square on each of the sides, I feel like it would look really good. So I think that's what I'm going to do. And now this is what it's going to look like. And we can just take this right over to the base and hopefully it'll work out well. Okay, so to do this, I need 800 polymer resin a minute, which these three are 900 a minute. So it needs to at least be roughly over here. And well, obviously I'll be getting rid of the awesome sinks. So to start this, I'm going to come over here roughly to where the polymer resin starts. Okay. I didn't really plan far enough ahead for this, and I'm not going to have really much room at all. So I think I'm going to scrap the chain idea. Maybe just do a normal, boring box with nothing, just straight connected to this foundation. Okay, so what I'm going to do is probably just cut in here. And I'm going to need these 3 polymer resin lines. So probably go to about here. Huh. Okay, let's put these back and just go up a foundation. Then just go down 9 walls. Pop a foundation. And I should be pretty clear. I'm just not entirely too sure how long refineries are, but this should be more than good enough. Okay, and I don't even have I don't even have enough to place 1 refinery, let alone 20, to see if this works. Alright, and then there is all 20 refineries. I decided to just not power shard any of them, so I'm just going to do all 20. This is quite a big platform, but not a big deal. And then I'm facing them this way, so that way when all of the rubber is done, it can just be kicked out from one Mark IV belt into a train station to go to the building wherever I decide that's going to be. Which, considering I'm taking from here, here, and here, I'm kind of wanting it to be out in the water over here somewhere, right in the middle, and then they can all just meet there by train. And I think that's going to be my best option. Okay, and with this recipe, I do need water. 800 water per minute to be exact, which really shouldn't be much of a problem because of where I'm at. I am sitting right on top of a ton of water. So to make the water I need unsharded, I would need about 7 of these, but fully sharded, I only need about 2.5 to get my 800 water a minute. So I'm gonna do that, and then I'm probably just gonna manifold all the water throughout all of these. Just make it nice and easy. Okay, so I went ahead and figured out the water, and that wasn't hard. I just sharded these two for 600 a minute, sent it between 15 refineries, and then another one over there sharded to pump 200 water a minute for the last 5 refineries for 800 water a minute. And then for the polymer resin up there, I need 3 lines, but I'm gonna split 1 to 2. So that way I'm only dealing with 2 different lines, makes it easier for me, which then I'm gonna run under here, underneath the refineries, and probably just do manifold lines all the way across. Again, just making it nice and easy. And then I said I wasn't going to do the chains, but I think I already flashed it. I decided to keep this more of an open concept underneath here because of how massive this building is. You'll never see this unless you intentionally come down here. So what I did is I just kept it in open concept, no walls, just the foundation, and then use the chains like I said I was going to do. And I think it looks pretty good. And I painted the refineries, the carbon black, the steel, the carbon steel finish. So now all I gotta do is get the polymer resin down here and into the refineries, and the 400 rubber per minute will be made. Okay, so now I don't quite got the polymer resin down here yet, just because I don't want this to start when I don't have anywhere to put the rubber. Because again, this is my fuel power plant. I cannot have this backing up. I need my fuel at all times. So I'm gonna wait on these for a minute, but all I have to do is split them up and do a couple things that aren't hard or whatever. Should only take a second, and then bring them down here into these floor holes, which then run down here and just go straight into all of the refineries. So it's just a nice, neat little, like, I guess crawl space or like area where I can just come down here and check things, make sure everything's working fine and whatnot. But yeah, and then I guess these floating foundations are just for when I unlock half foundations. I can just connect these, and then it's a nice little circle around the water extractor. But yeah, it's coming together nicely. It's basically done at this point. Really, all I gotta do is build the place where I'm going to be making the heavy modular frames, and then take the rubber modular frames, encased industrial beams, and screws to the one factory. Okay, as it turns out, I do not even have trains unlocked yet. So I gotta go do that apparently. So after I unlock trains, we can do trains. So I was supposed to come back here to get trains, and I've been in the hub for like 15 minutes. At first I was just staring at this until it hit the corner, and then yeah, and then I seen this bar moves. It moves. I started seeing it. It was like here, and I was just watching this, waiting like this, and then I noticed out of the corner of my eye that this bar moves. because I read it. I was like, updating system, please do not turn off the device. I was like, haha, funny joke. It says it's updating and it just never updates. Haha, teehee. But it goes. And it goes. Looks like it goes all the way. So I'm just curious to see what happens here. And on it no way. So then does it just updating system? Okay. All right. Yeah, that's a good one. All right, buddy. I haven't even checked to see what I needed for trains. Oh, trains is the only thing left that I need to unlock in here. Easy. Oh, teehee. Easy money. We got trains. Choo choo, mother. Okay, so I found the spot where I believe I'm going to be making the little factory. And I believe what I want to do first, before anything, is build like a platform, like an underground level, where all the trains will come in and drop off all the supplies to go up to the manufacturers. So I want to bring it probably about like somewhere around here-ish. Get rid of all of those. And then how big is a train station? 2, 3, just over, okay. Just over 4 foundations wide. It's like 4 1/4 foundations wide, or long by 2 foundations wide. Uh, However, whatever way you want to look at that. But okay, I need 3 of these. Okay, I'm not too sure how I'm gonna place them yet. I think my best route will be to get the trains basically here. The modular frames and encased beams like around that area, rubber around here, and screws around here, and then figure out how I want to place the train stations after that. Because trying to sit here and think about this is hurting my brain. So I'm just going to do it and think about it later. Hope it works out for the best. Okay, so I'm here where the encased industrial beams and modular frames are coming in, and I got the train station started. It's a little bit messy, I will say, but it's fine. I'm not too worried about it being perfect. Trains are not my strong suit in any way, shape, or form. But we got it started. This is where the train will come in and go out. And then I made a little blueprint kind of thing for like the train stand, I guess, for the tracks to go on. I sort of took in some inspiration from like Kivets kind of thing with the curve thing going on with the hole in the middle. I don't have like a conveyor area or nothing fancy or whatever, but I think it still looks all right and it should do the job. But now all I got to do is take this down there, and I was thinking about trying to take it through that little crack in the cave there. I feel like that would be pretty cool. All right, and just like that, I'm basically there. I didn't really put a ton of thought into it. I just kind of grabbed the blueprint, put it somewhere, and made sure nothing was in the way, and it looked like it was in a decent spot compared to the other one. And then I just placed it, connected the railways, and then with the ones that were like this floating way in the air, I just grabbed some foundations and nudged it right into the middle and did this like pillar thing just so it didn't look like it was floating in the air. And then all I gotta do is connect it to another train station. And I don't really have a specific layout in mind for this base. It's just kind of whatever it ends up being. All right, and then this is my return line for this train. So that means the train station's gonna have to be somewhere over here. And then 2 freight stations. Okay. And then will this connect nicely? It will. But then I take this. Okay, it's a little messy, but that's fine. That's more than fine. It works, I think. It should. Now all that's left to do is put a train on it. Couple freight cars. Connect the train to power. And now it should be going all on its own. But the modular frames and encased beams are going into the sink. Those need to now go into the train. So we're going to grab this and stick it right in here. And we're going to take these, bring them... Huh. Oh, there's the train. Yeah, that's what I like to see. Oh yeah, finally got trains going. Okay, and then we're gonna bring this up a level, like so, and then I'll put the conveyor lift on here. Oh wait, I don't even need to do that because it's got the two sections, which the one section is exactly as high as a conveyor lift. That. So if I just take this conveyor lift like so, go like boom, delete the lift, grab the conveyor, and boom. Now we got encased beams and modular frames going to the nothing, the nothing as of now, which will be making my heavy modular frames. Could the train look better? Yeah, probably. Do I care? No, not really. I still think it looks all right. And I got a train going, and I just wanted trains, and now I got train. So me happy. Yeah. But this was probably the easier of the 3 trains that I'm going to do, just because this is just here to here. Now I gotta do a train from here to here, and then even further from the screws to here. Which the screws probably won't be too bad. I'll probably bring it around back and just go straight across. Just to probably make it as easy as possible. I don't know, but all I do know is I just need to take the train from there and there to there, and I basically got 20 heavy modular frames per minute, 0 problem. And I believe I'm going to go ahead and start with the train over at the Chevy plant, just because I think that one's going to be a little bit more complicated, take a little bit more of my time, just because I'm going to have to route it through some stuff. There's a lot more terrain here, and I'm not trying to build super high. I'm kind of trying to stay with the terrain and make it look good, so it's not just a ton of floating trains going across the map. But we'll see. We'll see how it ends up looking, and if it actually comes out good or not. Alright, and since I'm over here already, and I figured might as well, this way I won't have to do it later, and I can start building up more tickets, because I just stuck an awesome sink down there. So what I'm going to do is get this polymer resin down here and hooked up, so that way these machines can start going, and that way I at least know this setup is properly working before I try making the heavy modular frames. So I'm gonna bring these conveyor lifts up here. This one's going to be for this conveyor. This one's going to be for this conveyor. And basically my plan here is, before the lifts, I went ahead and unlocked the smart splitter. So I can stick the smart splitter on here, put a merger on here, and connect them. And then I can put a merger on this one, where I was going to stick a lift here to send it this way, just like so. And then we make the 2 sides for the polymer resin any, and then the middle is going to be overflow, because these 3 polymer resin lines is 900 polymer resin per minute, and I only need 800. So the extra 100 a minute that won't be getting used is going to come onto this conveyor and still go straight into a sink. But these conveyors can now be deleted and stuck straight into here, like a so, and no, okay, yes, like a so. And then the entire setup should be going. Yep, there it is, getting the green lights. All right, beautiful, beautiful. Now I can cover this all back up and then color everything to match, like so. And then we should be good to go. Everything looks like it's green, except for maybe those last two, but that's fine. It's a big manifold line. It'll take a second to get going. Coming in here nicely. All right, that's what I like to see, is what I like to see. Okay, so let's give the train station power so it can at least fill up and stock up on rubber while I'm waiting. Oh, I forgot that the unload load thing was a thing. So the modular frames and encased beams aren't actually getting loaded onto the train or at the train station. Okay. All right, now all I need to do is get this train over to where it needs to be. All right, and just like that, this train is now done. It's already stacking. And then now we have rubber automated to the heavy modular frames. Could I have done this faster, not using trains? Probably. Could I have made it look better? Probably. Do I really care? No. It's done. It looks all right. It's good. And instead of the pillars for the platforms, instead of running it end to end all the way across like on the other platforms, I just did the one spot. I think it still looks good, and I think it personally looks a little bit better than having it across the entire thing. Just because when it's higher in the air like those are across the entire thing, a giant wall look like that doesn't look great. But now we got the encased beams and the modular frames and the rubber here at the heavy modular frame factory. And now all that's left is the screw train, which is all the way over here, and that's basically gonna I'm gonna wrap it around the water all the way for a straight shot, not a ton of turns or whatever, and that way it's not only easy, but I have an idea that will look really good. Or if it doesn't look good, it'll at least be really cool. So let's get this idea started and see what I can cook up. Okay, so a couple things before I actually start building this. I'm not going to start the train up here. It is going to be down there. And I need 2,080 screws, which each constructor is producing 260 screws per minute. So that's perfectly 8 storage bins that I need to pull from. The only problem here is 2 constructors overwhelms my highest tier belt, because 2 constructors is producing 520 screws per minute, while my Mark IV belt only moves 480 per minute. So what I'm thinking is I basically bring this bin out, split it between these 2, and then that should be 2 lines of 390, and then I'll do the same here. And then I'll just drag straight from these 2 bins for a total of 6 belts that I'm going to bring down there. And now the main thing I was wanting to say, if the game looks different at all, it's because I had to change my graphic settings. I had to. I am getting a clean 61 frames per second. I changed some of my graphic settings because I was getting so framey. It was when I was over there, not even at the Chevy logo, but okay, it's just completely blocked by the rock. I wasn't even at the Chevy logo. I was where the trains are at, and even there at my modular frame factory, I was getting 20 to 30 frames per second. It was getting rough. It felt so bad. So I changed some of my settings, and now when I say it feels like smooth as butter, I mean it. Like, it feels like I just went and bought a brand new PC worth double, triple what I paid for mine, and it feels so buttery. I don't even know how to explain it, and I wish I did this so much sooner. But okay, now I need to just split these belts, the first 8 storage bins, and then I'm gonna do the conveyor belt lift trick to bring them all the way down to the sea. No. Okay. That was a bit more tedious of a process than I thought it was going to be, but of course, I'm a genius, so I made it easy on myself, as easy as can be. So I got all the screws here, and to do the conveyor lift trick all the way down there, I at first was thinking I was gonna have to go down there, put the conveyor lift, and then walk all the way around and up, and then come over, and then up, and then connect it. But of course, like I said, I'm a genius. So the entire wall is done, and all I had to do was grab the lift, jetpack up there, wait for it to fill up, jetpack up there, wait for it to fill up, jetpack up there, wait for it to fill up, jetpack up there, wait for it to fill up, jetpack up there, connect it, and then do that 6 times in all. But of course, my genius shines brightly, and I had to do it 7 times because I placed the first one backwards. But now I can actually start building the train down here and getting these screws to the heavy modular frame factory. Alright, so now at the screw wall, I got a nice little platform going. Nice, perfect. And then it's going to be 2 conveyors per thing. I'm really hoping these 3 freight trains or freight cars can handle just over 2,000 screws per minute. If not, I mean, I can add a 4th and just hope and pray. But basically, I'm just really hoping it should be fine. Alright, and just like that, all the trains are hooked up. This should be looking pretty good. I really like the look of this wall. It looks sick. I just wish it was moving. Oh wait, just connect this to power. Oh yeah. That's beautiful. That's an eyesore. It's okay though. This is also beautiful. Oh man. But alright, now I can actually start working on building the train. And that's basically the last thing I need to do. I mean, I get the train there, build 5 manufacturers, maybe less if I decide to shard them, which honestly I probably might. But then that's it. Then I'm making 20 heavy modular frames a minute. And the only reason I'm making so many, I'm not going to use them all for the adaptive control unit. In fact, I'm probably only going to use like 5 or so. Probably not even 5 per minute though. I'll probably end up only doing 3 per minute because I'm only making 15 automated wiring per minute. Which I could do more if I just sharded my cables. So I was producing more cables, but I'm not worried about it. But alright, it's time for the train action. Okay, that wasn't horrible. But I got it done. I got the train here at the heavy modular frame factory. So I am basically done with this. And it is so nice to see trains just going around the world doing the thing. And one thing I should say is building this, it's quite some distance, especially compared to there or there, and needing 2,000 screws per minute. I am kind of scared, and I think my only saving grace here is going to be the fact that screws, I really don't have none. Oh, screws are in stacks of 500, so really I only need 4 stacks per minute. So I'm hoping it works fine. And I should probably make sure I change all these to unload because that's important. And I should also say the whole idea behind this train was basically the C train from One Piece. But obviously you can't really make the trains as flexible because the C isn't like going all crazy and whatnot. But also if I wanted to add in like turns and bumps or whatever to make it seem like it was actually going through the sea, I guess if I wanted to try, it would just make it take so much longer than it already is. But to my knowledge, I am getting all 100 modular frames, all 60 encased beams, all 400 rubber, and about to be all 2,080 screws per minute to the factory, making 20 heavy modular frames. Fill me up. Oh, I like it like that. Oh, dude, in the wall, it looks so good. And it really didn't feel like it took that long to get there. So I'm actually feeling a lot more confident in the fact that this is going to make it. So beautiful. And the fact that the screws were going for the entire time that I was placing tracks, yeah, I'm not worried in the slightest at all. But okay, now all I gotta do is build a second floor to take all the resources to, and 5 manufacturers. Or less, who knows? Yeah, each one takes 240 screws per minute. I cannot do less. Oh, I'm stupid. I am so stupid. I thought I screwed up big time. Okay, this makes more sense. So it turns out I based this off of a different heavy modular frame recipe that I do not have unlocked yet. And I'm kind of hoping and praying it's in the MAM and I just didn't. Okay. I'm hoping I just didn't grab it yet. Not the fact I'm hoping I don't have to go search for hard drives. Oh, that could be annoying. That could possibly be a massive time killer. Oh man. Oh man. What is wrong with me? Why did I not do this sooner? I knew I was using a different recipe when I started this. Oh my god. Please. Please. Is this? That is not it. That is not it. That is not it. None of these are it. None of these are it. God damn it. Oh. Oh, game. Oh, game. Please be nice to me. Give it to me on the first one. I beg of you. Alright. You know what they say. 5th time's the charm. Yo! That's it! That's it! That's the one I need! Yoink! Okay, nice. Nice. Okay, now all I need to do is grab these resources and send them up there. Alright, now I got all the resources, all the screws, rubber, modular frames, encased beams up here. I just need to place the manufacturers, which I'm going to need 6 of them. Because if the train splits the screws the same way the screws were put in, then I got 4 belts of 390 screws per minute. And then I have 2 belts of 260 screws per minute. And actually, I think those are backwards. I think the 260 are the front ones. Okay, the train's here. I should probably take it back just to make sure before I start building this, because 4 of the manufacturers are going to be normal level 100%, not overclocked or underclocked, and then 2 of them are going to be underclocked to match the 260 screws per minute, and then that'll give me my perfect 20 per minute. So let me just make sure I got my screws right, because that's kind of important. But I am in the very final stretch now. It is basically done, just placing machines and the last little bit of logistics. Okay, so yeah, this front car is the 260 belts. So I am really glad that I checked that. Otherwise, I would have just built it backwards, and that would have been kind of annoying. But alright, now I know I should be able to get this set up fairly quickly. Like, I think within the next half hour or so, as long as I don't try and get too crazy with the logistics or they don't bug me too much. Okay, so all I have left to do is to place the manufacturers, and the screws are 1-to-1 with the manufacturers. So if I can line this one up, And then I can just kind of go in a row and hope that they fit 6 wide. Okay, so plenty of room, which this actually works out quite nicely. What? No, I did not. Oh, I pulled from the wrong spot on the train station? Oh my goodness. If I did that here, I'm pretty sure I did that on all the trains. Oh no. What is wrong with me? Oh, oh no, this is good. This is good. This is exactly what I was wanting. Oh. Okay, that wasn't that bad. It went a lot quicker than when I first placed them, probably because I know what I was wanting to do, but oh, of course, it's one thing after another. Alright, there's all the screws, nice and easy. And then next, I'm going to grab the rubber, which everything besides for the screws is going to be going in a manifold line, with the very last manufacturers being the ones that need the least. And this is basically the setup I'm going for. Just manifold line, bunch of splitters, a little raise on each one. But I need cables. Of course. Where's me cobbler? Cobbler? Oh, cobbler. Hey, now that I got me cobbler, pop down a bunch of splitters until I get something sort of like this, which then I can just come up to them, double click real quick, and that instantly connects all the splitters to the lifts. And then all I have to do is simply grab and stick it in there. And then same with these. That's all straight. Nice. Okay, everything is here. Everything is coming in. Now all that's left to do is power. I am really glad that I am just about done. Yeah, one, because I'm getting heavy modular frames, but also my headset's about to die. It's been beeping at me for like the last half hour telling me it's gonna die, and I'm genuinely shocked it's not dead yet. But I prefer to listen to game sounds and the ambient noise and the things I'm doing. It feels weird if I don't. I don't know how to explain it. I don't know if that's just like a me thing. Okay, and then I can simply just grab this power connection. Let's put it on a power pole. And just like that. Oh, 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 wait. I gotta connect all these. I cannot believe I forgot that. But at the same time, I'm not really surprised. Okay, there we go. Just like that. Now everything's going through. Now I am making 20 heavy modular frames per minute. And oh man, it's beautiful. So beautiful. But then I would like to put a storage container for personal use, as well as a storage container for the 2.5 per minute. That I'm going to just use that 2.5 per minute for the adaptive control unit and just make 2.5 a minute of these. Shouldn't be too hard, not really at all. I already have the heavy modular frames. I got the automated wiring already. All I need to do is circuit boards, which is easy, and computers, which is basically more circuit boards. But yeah, then my storage container for personal use, and then these last ones can all go into a storage container together. Oh, it's so beautiful. Oh yes, that's what I like to see. Automated heavy modular frames are completed. Dunzo, sonzo. That's it. GG's, it's a wrap. I don't know exactly how long this video is going to be. I feel like it might be a shorter one. I could be completely wrong about that. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the build. I hope you guys liked the video. If you do, please be sure to let me know. Give the video a like. Let me know down in the comments below. Be sure to give the video a like, and I'll see you guys in the next one.